Well, another beautiful morning we have in this eternal now loving presence, my dears. Welcome. Thank you for jumping on, Yoda and Kathleen and Lisa and Jim and Narayan G. Yes, indeed. Every time, as I mention this, every time that you come to this group, the Rainbow Bridge Tribe, that you are bringing such light not only to each person here, but to our world. So thank you so much. I enjoy it so much. So this morning, I want to consider a few ideas, and it's not my idea at all. We can't have our own ideas. I know that's a weird thing to say, but we can't. Everything comes from a divine consciousness, my dears, and you just pluck it. You pluck it from wherever your vibration is and what you are able to perceive, right? And the more relaxed we are, the more in tune we are, the more that we're thinking of this divine uh, now loving presence, that the more we can pluck those beautiful soul truths. Not only that, but we can get the next guidance for us, that next little insight or aha can come directly. And I like, since it's the year of the horse, I like to say directly from the horse's mouth. It's a perfect year that we get our information, right? Maybe not from the news, maybe not from others or what they say, but straight from our, and these are two words Yogananda uses, divine romance. A divine romance, my dears, that we get our news from this relationship that we have with the divine. Oh my God. We're going to be so happy one day. We can be happy now, but it is nothing compared to the day when we are awake, when we are awake in the truth. OMG. And that's a forever. So we have great news to share as always. So let's just close our eyes for a moment and I'll have a little quote from Yogananda. I have so many beautiful quotes. We could spend the whole day just going through them, and that each one would be an insight. Each one could be, something that just brings us closer, and more willing to put it all on the line for the divine. And I have this little song that I wrote, and it's from a Gita passage, a commentary by Yogananda. And it goes like this: The divine lover beholds God through every window of thought and space. So that's us. The divine lover beholds God through every window of our thoughts and space. The divine lover beholds God through every window of time and space, and the cosmic beloved, and this is beautiful. And the cosmic beloved beholds the devotee through every window of her omnipresent love, enlocked in visions of love. God and the devotee enjoy unparted union. Imagine, enlocked in visions of love. God and the devotee enjoy unparted union. Unparted union, anybody? Unparted. Listen. What's the most beautiful thing in the world is? Do you know what it is? Is that you have an aha that is not about this world at all. It's about the divine loving presence that is the creator, that is the soul reality, that is this divine consciousness, the only thing that operates this entire show, entire universe is God's consciousness. And that consciousness is with you now as much as it could ever be. OMG. All right. So let's just let ourselves get submerged, submerged in the eternal light. It permeates every particle of our being. It permeates everything. It, it permeates every particle. God's consciousness permeates every particle of our being. It permeates everything. Jyoti, Jyoti, Jyoti Ma, Om Namo. Jyoti is the light. Jyoti, Jyoti, Jyoti Ma, Om Namo. I bow to that light, which is me, which is me. In fact, I think I better give you this idea from Ananda Moima, because it's quite lovely, my dears, because she's quite lovely. What a lovely soul she is, right? She says, whether you worship Christ, Krishna, Kali, or Allah, you actually worship the one light that is always in you. Actually, you are worshiping the one light that is always in you, since it pervades all things. So here's a little aha that may or may not be an aha for you. And that is, are you feeling a little overwhelmed these days? Are you feeling out of sorts these days? Or is it just kind of status quo? You're just used to it, right? You're just used to, having those same responses and reactions around a lot of stuff. And you just repeat like a parrot those things. You kind of feeling that. But God is omnipresent. God is that light within you, ever present. God is your divine lover. You behold God through every window of thought and space, and the cosmic beloved beholds you through every window of her omnipresent love, and in locked in visions of love, you and God share unparted union. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Could this be getting real, my dears? Could this somehow be getting real? So, if you are overwhelmed and all those other things I said, just plain, a human train wreck, so to speak, why don't we let God do the heavy lifting? Just for a moment, just think of your Saturday today. All right. It may not be anything, that's too demanding of you or that you're avoiding somehow. It may be that you're cleaning the house, whatever, right? But whatever it is, if it brings you any overwhelm, if it brings you, oh God, I don't want to do that, and you have that attitude that isn't really willing. You know what willing is in AA? When I live life, I need God. So try something. Try it on. That if you have a thought about later, you think about whatever it is you're going to do the rest of this day or part of the day. Why don't you ask God to do it with you or even for you so that you can be with God in whatever it is that you do? Can you imagine? Omnipresence of God is everything and everyone. Couldn't it radically be a part of your everyday to-dos? Could it be part of your everyday getting over your overwhelm because you know in advance? It's like sending love in advance to something, sending the light in advance to something. So you have the vacuum. Well, You might not feel so, yippee skippy about it. But if you say, Lord, let's vacuum, you're going to help me. If I don't have the right attitude about it, you're going to help me with it. And I get to be with you, unparted union. We get to do it together. We get to enjoy the consciousness together. Wow. And then you show up, and all of a sudden, that particular thing is certainly not an overwhelm, but maybe the opposite. Maybe it gives you a little awareness of that light that you are, and you feel that light. You may not see the light, but you may feel lighter, because you have included God in your life. What a concept. What a concept. So maybe you can consider some of these notions and always check it out to see if it brings you that, that lightness. A little more lightness, my dears. That's all that's necessary. But the goal is that we don't do a darn thing without having consulted that one who is the reality. At least consult the one before you engage. It's when you are forgetful of the presence that it all goes nuts and crazy. It's when we're forgetful, my dears. But when we remember, when we carry the presence, or shall we say, the presence carries us, that it changes everything. When you're feeling like nothing else is working in your life, be grateful. Be grateful. Because it may be you're struggling and overwhelmed, but as soon as you are grateful, what was overwhelmed becomes an embrace, an embrace of that loving presence, that unparted union, a little taste of that unparted union, my dears. Yogananda said, the Lord is not a person with sense organs, but consciousness itself. So it's your consciousness, my dear, that's everything. God is consciousness. There's essentially nothing in the universe but mind or consciousness. Consciousness goes through your mind. If you don't mind it, if you don't mind having God's consciousness fill your mind with the pure presence, the pure loving presence. I love this, my dears, when Yogananda says, the kingdom of God is not in the clouds, in some designated point of space. It is right behind the darkness that you perceive with closed eyes. So do you have your eyes closed right now? Do you see darkness? Well, guess who's just behind it? It's your divine lover. And this is what Yogananda says. The greatest romance. Feel these words, my dears. He says the greatest romance is with the infinite. Yeah, because the infinite is everything, everyone, everywhere. It's like samadhi. It's like bliss. Just awakening to what we're sharing this morning. Just to awaken to these truths. See, that's the beautiful thing. One day, thoughts that you like, that you've heard many times, become crystal clarity, crystal clarity. And your whole being feels them. So he says, the greatest romance is with the infinite. You have no idea how beautiful life can be when you suddenly find God everywhere. When he comes and talks to you and guides you. Yeah, because he comes and talks to you and guides you because you are receptive. You're not forgetting. You're not forgetting the only reality that we're and purpose we have here. You're not forgetting it. That's why Yogananda says you have no idea how beautiful life can be when you remember, when we include God first, during, and after. So when you suddenly find God everywhere, when he comes and talks to you and guides you, the romance of divine love has begun. Nice. So let me read you this. It came in as a something I posted 10 years ago. It's a daily upload of love. It's called Temple of the Heart. It says, I really have some good news. There's a great place to focus your mind. Place your entire focus and concentration in the temple of your heart. In the temple of your heart. That place is called the holiest of holies. Your soul and spirit live there in bliss. Enter the temple of your heart in the midst of every breath of spirit. In every breath of spirit, enter that temple of your heart. Ride the breath into your heart with great devotion. The greatest nemesis we have, my dears, is unwillingness to meditate. But when you know this is a romance where you can connect and contact that divine omnipresence and consciousness of the dream lover, of your dream lover. Wow. You have something, as we have said many times, you have your happy place. It's in the temple of your heart. And once inside the temple, join the bliss union of soul with spirit, unparted union with soul and spirit. So that nemesis being unwillingness, are we really willing to awake? That's a big question. Are you really willing to awake, my dears? Willingness brings in the greatest supply of energy. So if you're short of prana these days, it's because we're not quite willing to wake up entirely. Yogananda says, if you only did 1/100th of anything in my teachings, anything that I have shared with you, 1/100th, you would know God. 1/100th. And you pour your heart into that 1/100th. Pour it into that. When you ride your breath into the temple as a mist of the Spirit guiding you in that temple, the holiest of holies, they said there was like a mist in that sacred place of the Holy of Holies. Go in there and just have this attitude of gratitude, this attitude of omnipresence, consciousness. God is everything, everywhere. Just have that. Just have that as a motive, as an intention in your heart, my dears. It's very simple. It's very simple. So this is from a group called the Awakened Souls Collective. More of what we're sharing with you this morning. God is consciousness. It starts. God is pure consciousness. That means you don't need a fancy altar, you know. You don't need to go anywhere. Everywhere you are is sacred. Your temple is your heart. So this says that God is consciousness. the source of creation itself. It, or rather he or she, is not independent of you, my dears. It's the totality of you. That consciousness is the totality of you and everything. And you can think of yourself as God. You know, does God have a have a tough time deciding to vacuum the floor or something? Does he or she or it? You can think of yourself as God as long as you recognize that you are not talking about your personal ego self. This is beautiful. The expression of the God self. Yourself is God. Nor do I recognize any other me but God himself, says St. Catherine of Genoa. My me is God. Nor do I recognize any other me but God himself. And here it says that God's self rests inside of you. Your God self is inside of you. And guess what? It goes wherever you go. It does whatever you do. No, really. Include him. Include her on your to-do list, please. Please. You're feeling any kind of overwhelm. You're feeling any kind of out of sorts. You just have forgotten to put God into the picture, the soul reality. It's just a state of consciousness, my dears. That God's self rests inside of you. You could think that we are just a fractal of source, produced of, by, and from source consciousness itself. God is a verb, not a noun. Replace God with the quantum field as everything, everywhere, everyone. And have God as your greatest companion and start up that divine romance by doing everything, by asking the Lord to go before you and be in that particular activity, whatever it is you're doing or not doing. If you're just sitting somewhere, make sure to connect with that God self. Because God is the composer of the universal symphony, my dears, and the orchestra itself. It is both the conductor and the instrument synchronizing to play the music of existence. If, however, you consider God to be a noun, person, place, or thing, you succumb to the illusion of separation and limit your conscious awareness. And this is what separates believers or religious things from the knowers, spiritual. So honor your role in the divine symphony by recognizing the all in all that is. Honor your role in the divine symphony by recognizing the all in all that is. And walk with the Lord the path of oneness. So are your eyes closed, my dears? Do you see darkness? Who's behind that darkness? Who's behind this thought that you just had? See, when we bring source into our daily life, When we bring source into, I can't do this on my own anymore, just like in the AA program, I need my higher power. I can't do it on my own, but God can. I can't, but God can. If you have that kind of attitude, my dears, see if today can sparkle. See if it can sparkle. Yeah, in a way that you just feel lighter, lighter. I mean, come on. Divine consciousness lives within you as you. Let it do the work. Let it do the lifting. Honestly, there's no reason to be overwhelmed or just tired and exhausted. That comes from complete forgetfulness of the divine presence. So let's all sign up that we rest with the God self today and do everything with the God self today. What do you think? So just pick one thing before we sign off and do our ohms. Just pick one thing. What's the next thing you're up to? Right after this stream. And now, can you just put the consciousness of the divine into that thought? That the divine and you have unparted union, never are apart. Tao and I never are apart. Give it a good old collegiate try. That you don't consider anything, especially if you're feeling a little down and out, or if you're feeling just a little bit like even the little things of life are almost too much for us. Good place to be, because now you can rely on the only thing that will ever bring us this consciousness, awareness in the days and weeks and months and years that we have left. Let's go out in style, my dears. Styling with the universe. Styling in a divine romance. And you know what? You might live a long time in radiant health and happiness because you're sourcing source in all your thoughts and feelings, actions, and choices. So that is that, my dears. I hope that made some divine sense. All right. So if any of you want to pop on the windows, you can come in and let's do our ohms if you feel like it, Kathleen, and just feel what what was your takeaway this morning? What was your gift from your soul today by being here? Inhale the breath, let's chant an om, and it will reveal itself. Oh. Let's rub our hands together. Like you're just kind of so excited that you just think of God first, put him in the next thing you're going to do, and see what happens, right? With the thought of God. instead of whatever else is on your mind. Wow, it's just replacement agency. We're replacement agency from thoughts of self, little ego, what I'm going to do, and we just put the divine lover in its place as a not just a placeholder, but a place where we enjoy divine union. Oh. How about those God glasses, my dears, which I know that you always keep right with you? Take them everywhere. This all seeing, you know. So we can sit down and it can be dark in our closed eyes, but you know what? It's light. It's light everywhere else. So we love, and then we care, we hug, we embrace, and we just care. We're willing. When I live life, I need God. WILLING. Yeah. When I live life, I need God, and I need her, him, it to help me on the next thing I'm doing. Yeah. Like tying shoes. That is a great thing. Everything improves, everything becomes spiritualized. That's another way to look at what we're talking about this morning.